Hey everybody, Ryan with CPP Tech. Been a while since I did a tech quickie, so we're gonna do a tech quickie real quick. I'm talking really fast. See how it is? Michael Machine Man. 1980s joke. So should you update your BIOS? Short answer, no. If you bought a new CPU, yes. Depends on what CPU you bought. Uh, if you've gotten the 5000 Ryzen series, yes. If you've been lucky enough to have it. So I've been getting this question a lot. Should I update my BIOS? The only time you probably really want to is if you got a new CPU or you're getting critical security flaws. But my opinion on that is I would try to actually clear your CMOS and redo your whole computer, wipe it clean and reinstall Windows before I go and update my BIOS, especially for the critical security flaws. A lot of times that don't happen in your normal PCs. A lot of times, it happens in servers. It's rare, but it happens. So I would check to make sure just in case before you went to the extreme of updating your BIOS. Because if you update your BIOS and the latest version of your BIOS, don't support the CPU chip that you have, you may just be SOL and you're stuck either updating your CPU when you didn't have to, because a lot of times you can't go back. Now, with that being said, if you have a higher end motherboard, like I've got the X570 and it actually has a dual BIOS chip on there, so I could update the BIOS to one and I still have the old one to revert back to. A lot of your lower end models don't have that, so just be weary and keep in mind that, do your due diligence and see what you have first. The quick way to actually look for your BIOS to see what version you have, there's a lot of methods, but if you go down here to your search menu and type in MS Info 32, enter, the screen pops up and it'll actually tell you all the things you know. If you go down here to the MS BIOS version, it'll tell you what BIOS you have, but what this thing does, it actually tells you a whole bunch of stuff. What operating system you have, what motherboard you have, so therefore you can actually look up to see if you have the dual BIOS on there, how much RAM you have, what operating system you're using, if you're running two different operating systems, what version it is, what your CPU is, all that fun information, what type of BIOS mode it is. So if you go over here to hardware resources, I believe you can look at conflicts and sharing, and it'll tell you all that fun stuff. It'll tell me what graphics card I have in here, all the other stuff that's in here, memory, all that fun stuff. And then components, it'll tell you all your storage. You can go in here and look and see what all your storage is, your multimedia stuff, your input. There's a modem in there, which is from the old days. Your software environment, system drivers, it'll tell you all that stuff. I mean, it goes all, you got a whole list here. This is a really, 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 really cool tool to have to see your whole system here. So with that being said, I don't recommend updating your BIOS. Just keep that in mind. You might end up regretting it in the long run. If you clear your CMOS, just be aware that if you lose power while you're doing that, it may brick your motherboard. So don't do it on a thunderstormy day, and make sure you paid your power bill. That's my tips. And if you have a battery backup, which I should probably get one for this place, but I don't. I highly recommend you plug it into that before you do your CMOS. That way, if power does go out, you haven't lost power to your system. So I think that's it for me today. Just wanted to go over that with you real quick. That system information is very, very, very useful, helpful, and you can use it for other things than just checking out your BIOS. You can check out your system and see that whole thing. So if you like this video, throw a like, subscribe, check out my other content with the retro builds and everything else. I'm streaming on Twitch every Sunday at noon. So appreciate your time. Thank you for watching and have a good day. See ya. Left-handed salute.